Dear, I handed that out.
All right, good morning. All right, happy Tuesday, August 11th. It is 9:30 a.m. in the boardroom here on El Toro Road. And this is the regular open meeting of United Laguna Woods Mutual Board of Directors, a California nonprofit mutual benefit corporation. So we will call it to order. We definitely have a great quorum here. Glad to see everybody here on the board. Elsie, I thought you were vacationing.
I did too. Allah.
Later.
No, September the 30th.
Okay.
I was on vacation.
She was on vacation.
Okay, everybody's here. That's wonderful. That being said, let's have the Pledge of Allegiance. Kathy?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, do we have any media in the room? I don't believe so. I know they'll probably look at this later. May I get approval of today's agenda?
I'll make a motion.
A second?
Second.
Maggie, anybody opposed? It is passed, thank you. All right, now we're going to get approval of some past meetings. Real quick, it's May 20th, June 1st, June 8th, July 14th, and July 23rd. Do we have a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Kathy?
A second.
And Maggie, thank you, ladies. It is passed. No objections. All right. Okay. Report of the chair. All right. I'm really glad to see everybody here today. I think we have a pretty good meeting here. We will go forward as expediently as we can. Okay. We have some good guests here. We see the El Toro Water Districts here and everything. So good information coming on board. We're ready to go. That being said, we're going to start right off with the low pressure zone improvement project that is going to be done by the El Toro Water District. And they are here. Hannah, are you coming first? No, this all right. Thank you.
Just by way of very brief introduction, again, my name is Dennis Caffrey. I'm the General Manager of the El Toro Water District. We very much appreciate you giving us some time this morning to talk about what has become a very important project, I know, to the residents in United and to us as well. This is something that wasn't on our radar until a few months ago when at a United committee meeting, it was brought to our attention. In fact, I think the words were, "There's times of the day where I don't have any water." In which I stopped and said, "I'm sorry, exactly where do you live?" And that same day, we had pressure recorders out in the system trying to evaluate what was going on. So the second we found out about it, we started to mobilize, determine what the issue was, did an alternatives analysis to figure out what the best solution was, and identified a project that's not in our budget, but we have an excellent board of directors who work on behalf of this community every day, and when we pointed out to them that this was something critical, budget or no budget, they completely supported moving forward. So we are trying to, as aggressively as possible, pursue this solution. And with me today is Sherry Seitz, our Public Affairs Manager, and then the star of the show is going to be Hannah Ford, our Director of Engineering, who's going to come up and walk you through what we're proposing to do and how we're going to try and get it done. There are some things that we have to handle that take a bit of time, but we're looking for some creative alternatives that might help us to accelerate it. But we recognize how important this is. And again, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to talk about it this morning. Hannah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you all for your time. This is a very important project to us, as Dennis just summarized. So let's get into it. The first slide here explains what our agenda for the day is. We want to explain the need for this project, which, as Dennis mentioned, was driven by customer feedback. And then we're going to explain what our proposed solution is, the schedule, and we want to start the process to enter into easement agreements with United, and we're also going to be working with GRF for the same easement agreement that we're going to need to develop to implement this solution. So this slide shows where we're talking about. So within United, near the Gate 4 area, we had 2 customer complaints in the recent months. And when we got those complaints, we immediately started to initiate some field investigations because the complaints were that pressure was not high enough. This is a serious issue. It's part of our service standard to make sure you have adequate water pressure. So in the next slide, I want to explain to you what exactly contributes to low pressure conditions. There are several factors. I'm trying to distill it down to just 4 that are worth mentioning. So first, elevation matters. If you're up at the top of a hill, you're going to have lower pressure than if you're at the bottom of a hill. Similarly, if you're at a second story of a building, you're going to have lower water pressure than if you're at the lower story. That's just the nature of water. That's how it works. In addition, piping and fittings, so valving, those can all create friction losses. And when that happens, you have lower pressure. So the longer water travels and the more fittings it passes through, the lower the pressure is going to be. In addition, demand. So if we have 5 people calling for water at the same time, they're all going to experience lower water pressure than if they had staggered their calls for that demand to different times of the day. So when demand is being called for and the volume that's being called for at one time, those can all influence the amount of pressure that you're receiving. And then finally, customer side plumbing. We only control what goes up to your water meter. That's our jurisdiction. Past the water meter, how it gets exactly to your faucet, that's all customer side plumbing, and that can influence the water pressure as well. Usually we have 1 meter that serves 1 building. That's the most ideal setup. But when you have 1 meter serving multiple buildings, multiple units, those are all divvying and vying for the ideal pressure condition. And so depending on how the plumbing is set up, that can reduce the available pressure depending on how many different units that piping is serving. So these are all some high-level factors that contribute to pressure. I think that's a good framing because once we did our analysis, if you go to the next slide, I can show you what we found. So what we did is we put some pressure recorders at hydrants near where we heard that there were customer complaints. And what we found is that the story of when the low pressure is happening is very telling. It appears that low pressure is happening in the evening time, and that's likely when irrigation demand is happening as well. So when we're irrigating, that's a large flow that needs to go towards irrigating the plants in the area. And when that's being called for, the competing need for the residences, there's less pressure available. And we can see this because of the time of use that this low pressure was linked to, and also the time of year, because in the winter, there's less irrigation, so there didn't seem to be any low pressure conditions when we were monitoring the winter time frame. But in the summer, that's really when we saw those valleys that are lower than ideal. Our service standard is ideally in the 40 PSI range. PSI is just a unit of measure that we measure pressure in. And so we want to always be above that 40. And when we saw that we were dipping below it at certain times, that was a call for us to find a solution. Next slide. So what our solution was, we looked at a bunch of different options, and essentially where all of that area lies is what's called our low 1 pressure zone. So we have 11 different pressure zones throughout our distribution system, and we manage pressure to one ideal setting in each of those zones. In this particular zone, the location of the pressure regulating valves are all sort of in the north. And if we were to be able to install a new pipeline and add a new pressure regulating valve along that line, we would essentially be able to bring in higher pressure to the southern area of the zone. So adding a new pressure regulating station and 500 new feet of pipe is not a cheap thing to do. We're thinking this is going to cost between $500,000 to $1 million. But that's a capital investment we're willing to prioritize and move forward quickly with because we want to be able to address this low pressure condition as quickly as possible. So we have a main out in Paseo de Valencia. We would install the new 500 feet of piping. It'd be 12-inch in diameter along Avenida Sevilla. And then we place the pressure regulating station somewhere in that area. We're still finalizing the exact location. We've brought a design consultant on board, and they're doing some utility research. So the location I sort of schematically show in this figure may be subject to some refinement. If you go to the next slide, I can show you on the left is a view, if you're looking at Via Los Altos and Avenida Sevilla, that intersection, if you're looking towards Gate 4. So our first thought was that we could put the pressure regulating station above grade in that vegetated space. We're still refining exactly if it would be there or across the intersection. So after this meeting, I have a site walk with some VMS staff to look at a couple alternatives. And what generally a pressure regulating station looks like is just pipes and valves. So the key components are 2 pressure regulating valves. We'll have one 4-inch and one 12-inch. So the 12-inch is pretty big. It needs to be big because we have a lot of flow going through there when we get that irrigation demand. So we need both sizes to be able to manage both types of size of demand. And it won't exactly look like this picture. That's just an example I wanted to show you. It'll probably be lower to the ground instead of having these 2 staggered heights. And we will also be able to screen it and work with you to see what kind of screening you would appreciate. So we could do hedges around it. We could do a metal structure around it. But in general, it's like what you see for any backflow or fire services when you see the pipes and the valves that are above grade and sort of screened in with the community. That's what we're going to be looking at adding here. Next slide, please. So in terms of schedule, right now design is underway. And we want to get this done as quickly as possible. But these things do take time. So we're a public agency. We have to go through public procurement processes, but we're looking at seeing what we can do to tighten up potentially some of that bid phase so that we can get construction mobilized as soon as possible after we're done with design. And design, we're also trying to expedite, but these things do take time. We need to do geotechnical investigations. We need to do potholing. We need to do surveying. And we don't want to cut corners because we want this to last. So in parallel to design, what we're working on is the easement agreements that's starting right now with this presentation to you. I want to get your feedback in what you think about this proposed solution, what you'd like to see in terms of the screening, and what we would need to work into an easement agreement, because ultimately we'll need an easement for that 500 new feet of piping with GRF, and then wherever we place the PR station, that would be in United Mutual's land, so that would be an easement agreement with you. I will add one more thing to schedule before we move on, is the more decisive we are, the better. So if we can decide that it's going to be in a certain location and move forward, we're going to be able to wrap this up a lot quicker. If we keep revising our opinion about it, it'll take longer, and that means that we'll be in this pressure condition for a longer period of time. Next summer is a long time before I have a fully constructed solution. In the meantime, what we're doing is we're talking to VMS, and we're understanding if there's anything we can do with how they control their irrigation demands to see if we can potentially stagger it so that it's not all calling for it at the same time. That's something we're actively in discussions with. We're not sure if there's going to be something that we can do, but we're looking into it because we want there to be an interim fix. Next slide. So during construction, we will be making every effort to minimize the impact. We think construction is going to take about 3 months, and during that time, there will be some lane closure that will be required to install the new 500 feet of pipe along Avenida Sevilla. Gate 4 specifically will be impacted. We think for about 2 weeks, you won't be able to use that exit point. And your water service will not be interrupted. We have adequate isolation valves within the community, so you won't see an interruption in water service. Restoration, landscaping will put it all back to as good, if not better, than the original condition. And in terms of noise, we will prioritize daytime work so that we're not interrupting any nighttime noise and creating havoc for your ability to sleep soundly. Next slide. So what are we requesting? We want to start the easement coordination now. We want to get your feedback on that proposed concept, the location, the screening around it, and we want to start communicating with you and helping you be able to talk to your neighbors about, We understand that this is a problem that's affecting more households than we'd like. We're working on a solution, and there will be some temporary impacts during construction, but for a very short duration. And ultimately we'll have something that can provide everyone with adequate pressure that will last. With that, I'll take any questions.
Tony?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to remind us that that area in United is served by Gate 4 in Sevilla. So if there's construction on Sevilla and you close Gate 4, I'm wondering, we have to be aware if there's some kind of an emergency in that area. We want to be able to get emergency equipment in and out. And the only two ways is either through Gate 4 or Sevilla. That's my only observation. Thank you.
That's a good comment. Yes.
Yeah, Mr. President, I'm wondering if we can have Kurt show up later at the board meeting. Just tell us, is there a reason why irrigation cannot be scheduled between midnight and 3 in the morning?
I think we have an answer.
Yes, Kurt is working with the water district and implementing the changes that have been suggested.
Oh, okay, thank you.
No, good question. Jonathan?
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. With the engineering background, I understand all that. It's very tedious work. You mentioned the board of directors or the managing company. The approval and the process of approval for the budget, is this part of that 1 year or less time frame for completion?
Yeah, so what we're doing to fund this project is we're reprioritizing other projects that we had planned so that we can do this one quicker. We're not going to have to raise additional revenue to fund it. What we're doing is we're just shuffling the budget I have available for capital improvement projects such as this so that this can go first. There won't be any hindrances in terms of moving it forward when it comes to budgeting or financing.
Thanks.
Sue?
Thank you so much for getting on this right away. We did not know, obviously, and we kept sending landscape out to test, and then we would send maintenance out to test, and then we do it over again. So it was obvious that you all needed to step in, and it's just wonderful that you did. So I think this makes a lot of sense about you need the easements and that sort of thing. So I think we'll work as a board to try to get this done as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So,
I just wanted to let you know that Bart Mahia is working with Hannah on locating the structure and trying to have it screened as completely as possible from view. So that is already ongoing, and they're meeting after this meeting as well.
perfect. Thank you.
Kathy?
Well, I want to say thank you. Obviously, I'm probably one of the two complaints, which I'm surprised there weren't more than that. And staff has, in fact, in my area, I live in second story on the highest hill. And I am getting better water pressure. There's less sprinklers going on during the day, so I'm happy. And I hope this project goes through as quickly as possible and that GRF can find a location so we can get started right away. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions? All right. Well, I personally would like to thank you guys. I've been in many of these presentations. I have a good understanding of it, and we all appreciate you, Dennis, and Denise have been superb bringing this out. They are also going to be out at our Friday open town hall. Okay, they'll be our first presenters. So if anybody out there sees this and they have questions, come to the Friday town hall. You'll get some answers. But again, thank you for putting this together and just moving forward at this speed. It's great. We appreciate it.
Thank you all.
All right. We get to have an open forum now. Have a good day, you guys. Thank you. Any questions, Pan? We're going to give you 3 minutes. Paul, how many do we got going here?
2 in-person speaker and 1 via email.
Okay.
First speaker is Juanita Skillman.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is so nice to see a full board and all of those seats filled. I have to say, I was a little disappointed yesterday afternoon at the public budget presentation, and it was televised with lots of our neighbors watching, and there were only 6 people here. So I know you all were in the background, but still, it's nice to see all of our faces here this morning. I'm here with your monthly report on the library, and volunteers worked 721 hours supporting 2,009 residents who visited the library in July. We had 2,498 items checked out, and this included 35 children's books. So our new children's section of the library is kind of slow, but it is starting off, and we're getting more and more people that come and know that we are there. We also signed 32 residents up to our card catalog, because everybody, even though they are a resident, have to get registered with our card catalog so that their resident card becomes their library card. And so we felt really good at that. As usual, puzzles, particularly in the summertime, are a big deal. And we are a cooling center. It's beautiful in the library. We have a nice reading room, we have comfortable chairs, we have tables, and we have people doing puzzles there quite a bit, particularly in the hot afternoons. So come by and see us. Thank you.
Okay, next speaker is Chris Collins.
Good morning, Chris Collins, 3306Q, and I am here on behalf of the foundation of Laguna Woods Village. I'm here to give you a little update on what the foundation is doing on behalf of residents who are experiencing temporary financial crisis. This project is not about financial crisis, however, which is good. So this is Meet Your Neighbors, Make a Friend. Foundation of Laguna Woods Village is proud to announce that the 10 clubs have been selected to host special Good Neighbor programs this summer in honor of National Good Neighbor Day. Given the success of prior efforts, the foundation decided to continue the Good Neighbor Project to strengthen your sense of community. The events last year touched different areas of the village and brought people together in many different ways. So there are a number of different kinds of projects. The sense of community develops in different ways, but the surest way is through social interaction. So there's 10 projects, and in the interest of time, I'm just going to list what they are. There's going to be announcement in the Globe that'll give you more specific information, but I'm just going to give you a little rundown here. So there are 10 projects. One of the projects is the Baha'i Club, and because of the way their organization is constituted, they do not take money. The foundation is underwriting these projects by offering a $500 stipend. It was from a special fund that we had set aside. But the Baha'i Club last year did a presentation. It was a kind of a dinner kind of thing with a presentation, and I think it was very well attended. So they're presenting, and we're talking about them, but we're not funding them because they have their own sorts. Anyway, so the first one is the African American Heritage Club, and they're hosting again a game day celebrating culture, connections, and community. And that's on October 5th, and that's been really successful. It was really well attended. The California Club is offering a new idea, and that is called Music and Munchies at the Towers, and it's on November 6th from 1 to 3 p.m. And it's going to be kind of a sing-along thing with refreshments, so that's nice because it's resident at the Towers. The third one is the Camera Club, and this is the third time for them, and it's resident and pet photographic portraits, and that's been very, very popular. Then the Castle Music Social Club is hosting outdoor music, picnic, and potluck. And this is one that is very localized. It's going to happen in United, and it's in cul-de-sac 58. So anyway, they did that last year, and you all in United have a great area for that. So anyway, I'm past my time, but let me just tell you, there's Chinese American Club, which is honoring seniors. There's a garden center club. It's going to be about information about planting and growing. The Reformed Temple is doing something called Bouquets and Smiles Outreach. It's a thing for shut-ins. The Springboks, they're offering a new project. It's called In Memory of Our Pets. It's down by the creek, and it's a time to, think about how our pets contribute to our lives. Tennis Club is doing Good Neighbor Sunday social, and it's about tennis and so on. And as I said, the Baha'i Club. So there's going to be more. So thank you so much.
Okay, I have an email. This is from Janet Labar. Dear Board of Directors, the issue of overwatering our landscapes has escalated from a waste of resources into a severe safety hazard and a massive financial liability. The recent collapse of a large Canary Island pine tree near Clubhouse 5 is a smoking gun. It appears this tree fell due to severe root rot caused by chronic overwatering. Canary Island pines are exceptionally drought tolerant. For one to rot through and collapse means our soil is being kept in a state of excess saturation. There are dozens of similar massive trees throughout our village. If the next one falls on a resident, a home, or a car, or our HOA faces devastating legal liability. We are currently trapped in a prolonged irrigation audit that has taken an exceptionally long time to yield any discernible water savings. Our water use has skyrocketed back to 2022 drought levels. Our expensive new drought-tolerant plants are drowning to death, and our trees are actively rotting. We cannot afford to wait for bureaucracy report while our property is physically being destroyed. The board does not need horticultural training to execute emergency safety measures. We can immediately remove turf around large tree bases up to the drip line and cut off irrigation to those specific tree zones. These trees do not need this water. We do not need water to water the grass to the extent we do. The recommendation for lawns is 1 to 1.5 inches of water per week, varying with temperature. My guess is the daily watering grass gets considerably more. All this excess water causes excess vegetation growth, which requires additional maintenance and costs. After the irrigation department refused my request to reduce watering around my unit, they did install shut-off valves. I then conducted an experiment, halting irrigation around my unit entirely for 3 weeks until soil moisture levels normalize. Even during the recent heat wave, I only needed to irrigate once a week. My plants are thriving. When asked why water levels aren't being cut, the excuse given was that some of these residents might get upset if their high water plants wither. I assure you far more residents will be upset when their HOA dues go up to pay for rampant water waste, dead replacement plants, and lawsuits from falling trees. Individuals who choose to install water consumption plants should be responsible for giving them an additional water needed. The board must show courageous leadership and step in to get something done. Take control of this process, request immediate accountability of irrigation audits, and order an interim pilot reduction program to protect our safety and our community's financial future.
All right, any more, Paul? Okay, thank you. All right. Responses, yeah, we have responses from last week. I think, Murad, are you doing this?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Before I go to comments, response to comments from last week, I just want to respond to Janet Labar's comment. I just want to make a couple of remarks. Our water bill this year will be over $3 million, up from $2.6 million last year. So that's one. Number two, when you look at the 27 budget we looked at yesterday, the second largest item there after reserves was utilities. $750 per matter per month, even higher than compensation, which was $550 only. First time this happens, and is primarily due to water. So while I do not know about what Janet is saying in terms of what's happening, and an audit would be welcome, I do know that the numbers speak for themselves, and we need to do something about water. Now I go to the responses to comments made in the previous board meeting. Robert Trout stated that he has been harassed by his neighbor and requested a private meeting with the board. Compliance has been in communication with Mr. Trout to resolve this matter. Danny Henson at 325Q spoke about the new law regarding the feeding wildlife. He also asked who is responsible for the Blue Jay boxes and whom he should contact regarding their removal. Ms. Foster provided an update regarding the feeding of wildlife during the meeting. The General Manager's office confirmed that Mr. Hansen, with Mr. Hansen, that he's currently working with MNC staff regarding the Blue Jay boxes. Pete Colt at 407A addressed the issues of barking dogs in Building 57, how the village tracks units that have been sold and are vacant due to coyote concerns, and whether there is a committee responsible for marketing Laguna Woods Village. Compliance has been in communication with Mr. Colt to resolve the barking dogs issue. The GM's office followed up with Mr. Colt regarding his questions and concerns relating to tracking sold/vacant units due to coyote concerns and promoting the positive aspects of the community. Judy Dimmick at 864C and Weira Surya at 864A both spoke regarding dry rot issues and stated that they received the 30-day notices to comply requiring the removal of the patio enclosure related to the dry rot matter. Maintenance staff met with both residents to review the mutuals governing docks and explain the policy requiring residents to remove patio enclosures when access is necessary for building maintenance and repairs. Following these discussions, both residents agreed to remove their enclosures so the required repairs may move forward. Christy Locker expressed support for increasing penalties, and those comments have been noted. Rhonda Corona at 770A requested assistance with ongoing maintenance issues at her residence. She reported concerns regarding a large eucalyptus tree, as well as kitchen and bathroom sinks and sliding door not functioning properly. The GM's office communicated with Ms. Corona and advised her of the next steps to meet with the board and meet and confer regarding tree removal denial. The MNC department is currently investigating the plumbing and sliding door issues. And, Mr. President, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. I see a hand up for question.
I'm sorry, this goes back to your observation about the increasing water bill, and I was just curious as to the usage. Is usage also going up, or just the price of the usage?
I believe usage is going up slightly. In terms of irrigation, the water audits are underway, and those recommendations will be implemented when they're received.
Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. We will go forward. All right. CEO report. Siobhan, please.
Thank you, President Prater, honorable members of the board. I'd like to start my update this morning with a report on the new fire station, which is known as Orange County Fire Authority Station 12. The Fire Authority has released the schedule for construction of the new station. And in terms of project phases, the design phase is occurring in fiscal year 26-27, and construction will take place in fiscal year 27-28. Key project milestones include obtaining the required site development approvals from the City of Laguna Woods by June 30th of 2027, and operations at the new fire station must commence by December 31st, 2029. And OCFA also let us know that they're redirecting their efforts solely to Station 12. They're no longer seeking to place a temporary station across the street in the Home Depot lot. They found that running utilities and such to that site were cost prohibitive, so they're dedicating their efforts to getting the new station open. As a result, the interim service plan remains in place, and that's engine 12 will continue serving Laguna Woods Village, running out of the Fire Station 19 near the border of Laguna Woods and Lake Forest. It's been pretty successful so far, and they'll continue in that regard. We received word that Caltrans has released the draft environmental document for the I-5 El Toro Road interchange. If you'll remember, the last public meetings on this were in 2023. Several of the board members at that time were involved, some of them still here on the board, and we issued a very comprehensive response letter from the village as a whole at that time. In terms of the proposed project now, the proposed flyover alternative has been removed, which is good because that was the biggest contention, I believe, that the community had. The 4 alternatives that remain are no build, no improvements to the interchange. Alternative 1, which would replace the southbound I-5 on and off ramps with new hook ramps along Avenida de la Carlota, and a new bridge over the El Toro Road and roadway realignments. Alternative 1A includes the Alternative 1 improvements plus a new public street connecting to the Village of Laguna Hills developments. Alternative 3 uses intelligent transportation systems to improve traffic signal coordination without major roadway construction. So that's a technology-based solution. There is a public hearing on Wednesday, August 26th from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Laguna Hills Community Center. This is a great opportunity for interested parties to learn more about the proposed project and alternatives, review information, submit written comments, provide verbal comments to a court reporter. Also, public comments are accepted through September 14th, 2026, so you can submit your comments in writing. And again, we'll respond on behalf of the village after meeting with the city and going over our joint concerns. On the next slide, the DirecTV rollout is underway. Last week, DirecTV began creating accounts for residents. The emails and streaming boxes go out as the accounts are established. 1,000 accounts will be created each week, and this will run through October. Assistance is available to residents. There's a monthly DirecTV informational session, which is by invitation only as your phase is being rolled out. These occur at the Performing Arts Center. And then there's on-site help upstairs on the 3rd floor of this building in the Mac Learning Center. There's a DirecTV representative on site Monday through Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and with an hour closed for lunch from noon to 1 p.m. That person is here to answer any questions that you might have, and that's on a drop-in basis. We are publicizing 7 tips offered to help you stream your DirecTV, and I would like to go over those very briefly. 1, verify your email address with resident services or in the resident portal as soon as possible. This will make sure you are contacted in the rollout. You can consider using a Google account. Any valid email address can be used for DirecTV service. Use of a Google account with a Google email address provides access to DirecTV's Google Play apps and voice control features. 3, if your DirecTV account is created using an email address and you'd like to change that email address, you can contact DirecTV customer service. This is for Laguna Woods residents only, and that number is 866-258-8766. After you receive your DirecTV equipment, please sign in and change your password. DirecTV login information, once your account has been created, your username is your email address, and everybody has a temporary password of Laguna Woods Village 2026 ! So you want to update your password as soon as you can. 5, when your equipment arrives, watch for your DirecTV welcome email. Once you receive it, download the DirecTV app and start watching instantly. 6, follow the setup instructions included in the package once your equipment arrives. And 7, if your package is reported missing or lost, please call DirecTV customer service. Again, that number is 866-258-8766. Switching gears, asphalt pavement repairs and seal coat is underway in the village and will continue throughout the summer until October. On the screen before you are the GRF locations, but we're going to flip to the next slide for the United locations. Paving is occurring in cul-de-sac 6, 63, and 206, and seal coat is occurring at several cul-de-sacs as shown on the screen before you. And Manor Alterations continues to release new videos, helping our residents understand the renovation process here in the village. And most recently, they've released a new video on the necessary steps to secure required inspections in the resale inspection process. These videos are available on the village website under Services, Manor Alterations videos. And there are a number of titles now available, and we've received some very positive feedback on these. So thank you, and that is my update this morning. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. All right, let's go on to the consent calendar. I'm going to read this so everyone gets this clear. All matters listed under the consent calendar are recommended for action by committees and will be enacted by the board by one motion. In the event that an item is removed from the consent calendar by members of the board, such items shall be subject of further discussion and action by the board. Okay. Are there any questions? Can we have a motion to approve?
I make a motion that we approve the consent calendar.
Thank you, Sue. A second? Kathy, a second. Any opposed?
I have a question, please.
Yes, please.
Not a question, just a
Discussion
comment.
open.
A board member in the past asked about the causes of these liens, and there are 6 of them here. I just want to say that 2 of them have to do with probate, and 4 of them have to do with an apparent inability to pay the HOA fees. And that is why I think Sue Kwan's request to increase the income requirements are key for us to look at, because we have more liens now having to do with these apparent inabilities to pay our HOA fees, especially as they're going to keep going up, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, the increased income retirements, should they go forward, have nothing to do with the people who currently live here. It would not impact you at all. It would be a requirement for those moving in after if it were to be adopted.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah.
Yes, Elsie.
Before I take an increase seriously, I'd need to see some kind of, using Director Kisby's logic, with some kind of a study. I mean, some kind of a record, like are there 50 more times in, you know what I'm talking about. So I just, because otherwise, the fact that at least one of those isn't a question of can't pay. It's of the non-deceased ones, at least one of them is not inability to pay. I'll just leave it at that. So that gets it down to how many? 3. Just something to think about.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anybody else? All right. So we need to vote on this. All those in favor? Okay. Oh,
Who moved and who was the second?
it's a Sue moved
Thank you.
and Kathy seconded.
Got it.
Okay. All right. It passes 11-0. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay. Let's go through the maintenance and, we have our committee's report. Unfinished business. Right down at the bottom. Okay, unfinished businesses.
And then it's disciplinary update.
Okay, there, I see it now. Okay. A disciplinary update. Here we go. It's always good to see you once a month.
Hi, yes, good morning, United Board. So before you is agenda item 11A. This is the disciplinary report that reflects May, June, and July. In July, our cases have remained the same as June with 323. There has been some fluctuation between the allegations of abandoned vehicles going down, clutter staying relatively the same, maintenance, landscape going down, and then our traffic violations and
vehicle oil violations coming into compliance. So is there any questions for me?
Oh, look at this. All right, we're going to start over here. Phyllis, please.
Yes.
Do the items for June include items that are still on there, say, for the month before, or are they all brand-new items listed each month?
It's both because we have to monitor if people need time, so it would be both.
And who's next coming down? Jonathan, did you have anything? No. No, okay. Kathy?
Okay, again, one of my pet peeves is the traffic violations. In July, you're showing 0 traffic violations. That includes stop signs, speeding, parking violations, parking on the sidewalk, and in July, there were none.
Yes, so what compliance deals with traffic violations is different from what the traffic hearings or security deal with. We deal with the items that have been escalated to us where we need to come to the board so we can tow vehicles versus where the traffic committee has the hearings and can impose the fines for tickets issued by the traffic officers.
Okay, so you don't have the amount of tickets that were handed out in July?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, I thought several months ago we had asked for that report. I know we received it once.
Okay, so is that an ongoing, I will talk to my manager to see what needs to be provided to you because like I stated, that's not necessarily the umbrella for compliance, but I will look into it.
Okay, thank you.
Tony?
Thank you, Mr. President. Could you help me understand, what are we experiencing with these alteration standards violations? Is there some kind of thing going on? Do we have a handle on it? What's happening?
It would be more related to when you have,
Somebody's mic's real hard.
so when staff goes out and needs to do improvements on your buildings and there are alterations that they come across and the members need more encouragement or need to be made aware of the rules, it'll come to compliance and then we will advise the member, you've installed an alteration, it needs to be maintained or it needs to be removed. So it's just advising the members of what their responsibility is.
So it's not one thing?
Correct.
Sue, please.
Yes, thank you. I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
I know we have been really working hard with the city to try to stop feeding wildlife in the community. And I see that we have 5 instances of attracting wildlife. Do we coordinate with the city on that, or do we report it, or is it just, are these standalones?
These are standalones. We have talked to animal control when we can, but we haven't really worked with the city. Again, I can make note of it and talk to my manager and see what we can do.
It might be good to coordinate. And the same thing with dogs off leash. You know, we've been telling people over and over again, please, keep your dogs on leash. The other thing, Murad had mentioned delinquencies, and we've got 36 delinquencies. What does that mean? Are people not able to pay their HOA bills, or is this just some other issue?
So that the delinquencies for us could be related to the HOA. It also could be related to chargeable services that the members aren't paying. So like their broadband, their garden plots, their golf usage, some recreation items. It's a umbrella that captures what is escalated to us for addressing through the member hearings committee.
Okay, thank you. And then the last one, on the illegal occupancy, what happens when we find out about the illegal occupancy? How do we handle that?
It can be handled in different ways. If the member just needs to contact community services to complete the paperwork for either a live-in care provider, a co-occupant, or if they need to actually if owners who have lessees that have not, who have expired their lease and have not moved out voluntarily, they may have to go through the eviction process. And so we keep it on our books just to make sure that they come into compliance and they're not allowing somebody to reside in the unit that doesn't have approval. And then if all else fails, we go to the member hearings committee where 3 of your directors listen and take action.
Okay, thank you.
Siobhan?
Thank you. I just wanted to remind the board that we have been encouraging residents to contact city code enforcement if they see feeding wildlife, because they can handle it swiftly, and they have that new ordinance. So that's what we've been encouraging residents to do.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the new ordinance has up to a $500 fine. So we do need the city to step in there and help with us, because saying shame on you obviously isn't working. So, Elsie?
I just wanted to address the concerns of Director Bravada regarding the traffic tickets.
Parking violations mostly.
Parking violations, well, I can give you how many, I mean, not today because I destroyed that stuff, but during the traffic committee hearing, I could start telling you how many people showed up for the hearing, but that's going to be different than the parking violations. In other words, a lot of people just pay their tickets without going to a hearing. So I get the hearings, and then she gets the disciplinary part. Like if they don't pay, right?
If it just gets escalated for towing of a vehicle.
Yeah, that's a kick up from my responsibilities.
Right, and I understand that. What I'm actually referring to is how many parking violations are there in a month?
Oh, okay.
And how it's basically determined that
You mean
one
that-
vehicle gets a ticket where another vehicle doesn't. So I just wanted to see the report.
I think it's which one of the 3 officers we have at any given time that sees it, but I can't speak for enforcement. So I thought I could help you without putting yet another
Undue work on staff, yes.
report, huh?
Without putting undue work on staff.
Yeah, but I can't tell you how many.
Right, but I do
tickets.
understand they do have a report where they can push a button and print it out.
No, I only know about the hearings.
Right.
Yeah, so I will talk to my manager to see what report can be obtained regarding traffic violations.
Parking, she wants.
Or specific to parking, yes. Is there any other questions for me?
I'd like to see stop signs. Violations. I went to a meeting the other day, and people were going on and on about how many times they see it, so
Okay.
it'd be good to get a number.
Could be a source of income.
Stop signs are a GRF-related matter.
That's right, they own the streets.
That's right.
So let's speed on over to their next meeting.
All right, we'll see everyone next month.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
All right. A little town hall discussion this Friday. Again, the El Toro Water District will be there. And after that, we will have some VMS staff come in and talk about the Ting and Direct TV. I think that's going forward, right? And then after that, if everybody gets done, we will definitely have some open questions. So come to our Friday, 2 o'clock at the PAC Center, and everybody is welcome. Okay. Now we are looking for a motion to approve an update to the United Washing Machine fee. This went out on a 28-day, and comments and to comply with Civil Code 4360 has been satisfied. So, Maggie, would you like to read that motion for us?
Thank you.
Need a motion?
Oh, we need, let's do, I guess we need a motion first.
Maggie reads it and she moves it.
Okay.
Resolution 0126XX, laundry revenue fee increase. Whereas United Laguna Woods Mutual provides laundry room facilities to its members at subsidized rates, and whereas utility and operating costs associated with providing laundry services have increased significantly, while the washing machine fee has remained unchanged for an extended period of time, And whereas the Board of Directors has considered increasing the washing machine fee to improve cost recovery while continuing to provide affordable laundry services to members, now therefore be it resolved August 11, 2026, that the Board of Directors of United Laguna Woods Mutual hereby approves the proposed increase of the washing machine fee from $1 per load to $1.50 per load, while continuing to provide complimentary, that means free, dryer use. Resolved further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized to take such actions as may be necessary to carry out the purpose of this resolution. And resolved further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. The July initial notification and 28 days have passed, and Civil Code 4360 has been satisfied. I move this resolution.
We have a second? Mary had her hand up first? Yep. We have active people here. This is great. All right. Any more discussion on this? Or who's first?
Marat, if you'd like to go first, that's fine.
I just would like to say, Mr. President, that I applaud this. $1.50, that additional 50 cents will help, but it's only a drop in the bucket. Out of the $900,000 we spend on laundry rooms every year, 2/3 of that is water, $600,000 out of $900,000. And that $600,000 is 20% of our water bill of $3 million. So yes, irrigation, yes, residential, but 20% goes to the laundry rooms. So it is very important that we keep increasing this fee potentially to $2, not so far in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Sue?
Thank you. I wanted to let people know that I think this is the same amount that's being charged at Third right now.
That's correct.
The $1.50. And this is a deal. I went around to several laundry facilities, and they don't even have a sign anymore that tells you how much it is per load. It's an app. It's all app-based. And so you go in, and then, the Monster laundry, I think somebody put in $10 for that. And then I saw the old-time washers that are top loaders that look like they had been around for quite some time for $4.25 a load. So, this is a very reasonable and fair increase.
All right, thank you. Kathy?
$4.25 outside.
It was
Outside.
outside. I went to outside laundry facilities.
No.
No. It was outside facilities, and I
You
went
have
to a
to
number
jump
of
over
them.
the fence to see it.
Thanks for the clarification.
Kathy, you had a comment?
Yeah, I'm very happy that it's going to increase to $1.50. I do think we need to consider charging for drying, because our electric bills are also very, very high. So I'd be happy to vote for that. I know you wouldn't, but you would. But yeah, this is very good, and it's a start.
Yeah, I was looking this way. Can I have Tony go first? I think he was, I don't know who was first. Tony?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just like to let the people at home know that we've been told as directors here that $3.75 a load would bring us up even with cost. So I'd just like to share that with everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Elsie?
Well, just two things. One is, rather than look at the laundry rooms having to break even, I don't know why we don't look at them as another amenity, which they are, and then look to the finance people to, and I forget what the rate that we're aiming towards, like if it's 40/60 or 50/50 or whatever it is. I think we ought to try to bring the laundry rooms in line with that. That's number one. And then number two, I know I'm going to forget it. It was, what did you say? Because it was in response to Oh, no, the drying, it was in response to her. The only reason I'm against charging for drying, I don't care, is the cost of retooling the dryers to accept the quarters. And so I'd rather see if that was the case, the washer go up a little bit. Yeah, that's all. I just wanted to straighten those two things out.
Thank you. And I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, that our schedule going up the way it is, once we get to, let's say, 375, as Tony mentioned, to cover it, that does include the dryer electric use, because we're looking at the electric use for the whole room, not just one side of the room, like dryers and.
Wait, what are you talking about? The 375
If we,
that came
if
from
we
her on
eventually.
the outside, right?
If, no. If-
Oh.
Page 406.
Oh.
If we get up to 375, that's
Right.
100% of the cost of the laundry room usage.
Mr.
Yeah,
President, I agree with Elsie that this should be subsidized. It should be a shared cost. But it's good to know what the actual cost would be. And then we can go from there, and whatever percentage is fair, then we go from there. But it was sold that you have laundry rooms.
Yeah.
It wasn't sold to me that, as I remember, that it was a shared cost, but I sure like that it was, or is.
All right, well, we will come to that hurdle when we go to the next raise.
I was just going to say, with it being a shared cost, in order to cover the expenses, the dues will have to go up to take care of that as well. And not everyone is using the washers and the dryers. So I know, Elsie.
More that are using the, say, golf courses.
But
Okay.
golfing is so much more fun.
All right, should we vote, one more, Mary?
Just following up what Elsie said, I think it would be helpful down the road when we talk about this is, what amenities are subsidized and how much, in case there's a fair standard to apply to all of them.
And we try to do that, yes, yeah. All right, should we vote? Everybody in favor of this motion, please, raise your hand.
Larry, if you can use your screen.
Oop, I need what?
Use your
Oh,
monitor.
we're voting on the screen, okay.
My yes isn't working.
If you want, just use your mouse as well.
Okay.
All right, the motion passes 10 to 1, thank you. All right. We go to new business, okay. We need to entertain a motion to approve the revision to standard 7. Would these like to be read, please, Maggie?
Thank you. Resolution 0126XX, Standard 7 satellite dishes. Whereas the United Laguna Woods Mutual recognizes the need to amend standards and create new standards as necessary, and whereas the Mutual recognizes the need to revise 7 satellite dishes, now therefore be it resolved on September 8, 2026, the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts a new Standard 7 satellite dishes as attached to the official meeting minutes, and resolved further that Resolution 01-1852, adopted June 12, 2018, is hereby superseded and canceled, and resolved further that officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution as written. August initial notification. Should the board endorse the proposed revisions, staff recommends that the motion be made and seconded to accept the resolution and allow discussion to ensure the resolution reads to the satisfaction of the board. Staff then recommends that a board member postpone the resolution to the next available board meeting, no less than 28 days from the postponement, to comply with Civil Code 4360. I move this resolution.
And do we have a second? Tony, thank you. And discussion? sort of have a little thing on this because we are talking about the satellite dishes. Most of the satellite dishes that I see during my walks and driving around are DirecTV satellite dishes. So going forward, as we are right now with Ting, includes DirecTV. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here because that could actually eliminate quite a few of the dishes that we do see out there. But we do want to make sure that if the people are going to obviously use the DirecTV on Ting and not use their dish, that they're not just becoming eyesores and sitting there gathering dust. So just that's my quick comment on this. Elsie?
Well, I don't have a dog in this fight. You know, I don't know anybody that has a dish. So that being said, number one, we can't prevent it. Number two, it looks like we're just making it so complicated that nobody wants to do it, which is kind of Machiavellian. And then number three, I was reading in the packet that there's something included in stuff I was reading last night. That's a reprint of a newspaper article or a journal article or something that says that DirecTV in particular has different bundling. They've offered different bundles to people. So my point being, if maybe there are people that, I agree that if they aren't using them, they should take them down, for sure. But otherwise, I don't think we can make that assumption because maybe they're buying this super duper sports package or.
You're totally right.
I just wanted to throw in that observation. Like I say, I don't know anybody with a.
And, you know, that's going to be a good question maybe at the town hall Friday. Tony, yes?
Thank you, Mr. President. We discussed this at length at the Architectural Control and Standards Committee, and we came up with the same decision that a lot of people still rely on these dishes, and we didn't think it was up to us to just arbitrarily make a decision to do away with them. So that's why we offered it up to the full board to make a decision.
Well, you can't anyway, and David Sterling says you can't forbid it.
Murad?
I just note that DirecTV Stream provides a number of packages, including the super duper Elsie just talked about.
Okay.
So there's no reason why they
That
can't
was
do
an
Stream.
example, number one.
No, what
Number
I'm
two,
saying is-
it's against the law to forbid it.
That may be true. I just want to say that you can have the same packages either on Stream or on satellite. There's nothing specific to satellite versus Stream.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, let's call for a vote. Is this going to be on the screen? Yes, it is. Oops, come on. One more. Okay. There you go.
There we go.
All right.
It was
Motion
Tony after
passes.
all.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, next item, new business, will be entertain a motion to approve the revision to standard 35, which is solar panels, one-story buildings and buildings with unshared roof spaces. Maggie, would you like to read that, please?
Resolution 0126XX, Standard 35 Solar Energy Systems. Whereas the United Laguna Woods Mutual recognizes the need to amend standards and create new standards as necessary, and whereas the Mutual recognizes the need to revise Standard 35 solar panels, one-story buildings and buildings with unshared roof space, and Standard 42 solar panels, two-story buildings with flat roofs. Now, therefore, be it resolved, September 8th, 2026, the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby adopts a new Standard 35 solar energy systems as attached to the official meeting minutes. And resolve further that Resolution 01-2313, adopted March 14th of 2023, and Resolution 01-2315, adopted March 14th, 2023, are or is hereby superseded and canceled, and resolve further the mutual consent processing time for solar panel installation requests is to be completed within 45 days from a receipt of the complete application. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution as written. This is the August initial notification. Should the board endorse the proposed revisions, staff recommends that a motion be made and seconded to accept the resolution and allow discussion to ensure the resolution reads to the satisfaction of the board. Staff then recommends that a board member postpone the resolution to the next available board meeting, no less than 28 days from the postponement to comply with Civil Code 4360. I move this resolution.
And do we have a second? Tony, thank you. Any more discussion on this? It's quite lengthy and a lot of information. Solar's really moving fast in the state of California, and I know that our Energy Committee and all the other mutuals are all focusing on solar and what's going forward, including the balcony solar systems that you see there talking. That is moving very fast up in Sacramento also. So we're going to keep up with this and make sure that we stay informed on the progress of all these things that are changing almost daily. Yes, sir.
Yes, I want to thank Dick Rader for sending out some information to all of the board.
Yes.
And he'll be talking about the comments on United Solar Policy. So thank you for being so thorough in this. And it's a very good policy. It just needs a little tweaking. And we'll hear from Dick. But it sounds like Third's policy got amended maybe prior or after the United policy. I don't know what happened, but they had some good provisions in it that Dick will talk about. And then the thing that really interests me is the shared space on the roof. And so when Ellen or whoever talks about it, I want to make sure that it isn't first come, first served. So that if you have a flat roof and it's sunnier in one spot and you're the first to put up solar, you can't run over on somebody else's portion of the roof and put your solar panels up. So it needs to be equitably divided. So, and perhaps it already does this, but from Dick's comments, it looks like it could be tweaked a bit more. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more discussion on this? All right, I guess we, Dick, Paul, is this up for discussion? Mr. Rader, you had something for this?
Thank you very much. As I proposed, I thought there were some things we should consider to add to our policy. So if you look at what I wrote, I copied verbatim item 5.6A, and you'll see at the last line, it says there must be equitable allocation of available area. And this directly supports our policy, which as a cooperative, United should strive to treat all members equally and avoid policies that favor one resident over another. So that's consistent. However, it's left there. There's nothing else said. How do you interpret that? How do you implement it? So I just wrote something, and you can decide to reword it or not to adopt it, but I said right after that, equitable allocation of available area. For buildings where multiple members share a common roof, the contractor shall divide the usable roof area into equal-sized sections one section per manor. Section size will vary by building based on roof dimensions and required setbacks. Each resident is entitled to one section, and any proposed solar array must fit entirely within that allocated area. And then I added, as these sections or these, as these become available, VMS will retain the approved roof section plans so they can utilize it if there are any further requests for solar installation. I then refer you to what happened yesterday. Apparently, Third adopted their policy. There's much overlap between ours and theirs. The only difference, I think, really is that they added some things that I think are really important for us to consider adding to ours. For example, they have a section, I think it's titled 2.2. And if you look at ours, it's under 2.0. In 2.0 in our policy is defined as definitions. 2.1 in our policy says, and it defines a solar energy system. What is it? What they did was they added another section, 2.2. It defines what a solar site survey is, defined as a written report to manor alterations for the placement of all these sections, and they must be divided equally. They then carried that solar site policy survey through their entire policy, and I think it just adds more clarity. The last one, I think it's really important, the last one. They address something that could happen if there's not enough roof space for all residents who are sharing a common roof to be able to, all of them, have an equal opportunity to install solar. Maybe enough room only for 2 people. They address that. We don't.
Okay.
And so I think that's important. Take a look at it. You'll see what it does. And I also added comments to that so you can maybe think about adding it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Dick. I see hands up. You three, who was first? Come on, give me a first. Maggie?
Okay. Our roofs are owned by United. We do not have separate rights to any part of any roof. We are United. We own the whole building. That's different in Third because they have a right to certain property. They have a right to certain stuff. United owns everything. So I only see that you have to go to whatever it is, alterations to get the approval for where you put it. And United can tell you where to put it. And that's that. And so we don't have to fight with our neighbors. We don't have to show pictures or anything else. The roof is United's, period. It's outside. The roof is United's. That's how I see it. Thank you.
Okay. Ron?
Mr. President, Maggie just did my comment, but I also wanted to say that this policy, as far as I can see, has to do with one-story buildings and unshared roof buildings, while Mr. Rader is talking about Third shared roof buildings, which I believe is a different policy. Thank you.
Elsie?
I don't have a problem with, because we've done this before, for United's policy to mirror Third's, unless there's some obvious discrepancy. So I go along with that. No, what? I'm agreeing with you at this point, Dick.
Some statements were made that I hope I can respond to.
Oh, that. So let me finish my
Okay.
statements,
Keep-
okay?
keep the- yeah.
So my statement is, in the scenario where, and as I read this, I got copies of it right here. The scenario, and I appreciate Mr. Rader's
Concern.
Well, his concerns for equity, okay? That part's fine, but like say in his example, if there's only room for 2 of these units on top of a building, Mr. Rader would forbid anybody to put, because there wasn't enough to go around. It's sort of like, you know, did you bring enough to share, Billy? Well, what if, I mean, what if only there are ways to figure out, like say 3 people wanted 2 spaces. Well, there are ways to figure that out. Because otherwise, what if only 2 people want the space and the rest of the people could care less? Well, but we're going to forbid the 2 spaces from being filled. So that's the only part of your proposition that I object to. And, well, it's not object, but I have questions about that. That was it.
Thank you. Over here. Anthony, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, I don't think it sounds like we have some issues with this, some questions, and I think maybe we can't deal with it a seriatim here, that maybe we should ask for our thing to be resubmitted to us in a way that we can understand. So it seems like we have a difference in opinion here. I'm not against it, but I think we need some more clarification. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathy?
Okay, I agree with what Elsie's saying, if I'm understanding you correctly. I live in an 8-unit, 4 on one side, 4 on the other. So if all 4 of us want to put in solar, is there a way that we can combine it? Or would there be enough space for all 4 of us to have our own solar for our, 1,009 square foot units?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'd be concerned with, is, my roof's not that big.
Right.
Mr. President, this policy does not apply to Kathy's example. It talks about 1-story building, which is not your case, and it talks about unshared roof buildings, which is not. No, what I'm saying is, this is different policy than thirds, and that is why what Mr. Rader is saying may be appropriate, but not for this policy.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's keep going here. John, you didn't have anything, John?
Since I live in a single story and I have only a certain amount of roof, I have no issue. But I understand that as we divided the parking spaces to almost equally for each, my next door neighbor does not have a car but does not let me use his. So this would be similar. Whatever space is divided into each individual, if they use it, they use it. If they don't, they don't. So to me, it's very simple.
Mary?
Yeah, I just want to reemphasize the equitable part. And it's not for just now, for whoever wants roof space. It's a program that'll go forward long after people come and go. So what we decide now to make it equitable is going to stay as a guideline for a while. And we're not giving the roof away. We're simply building this into the permissions.
Right.
Right. Thanks.
Yeah, and I personally have seen, because I do focus on solar, I have solar on an outside property, but here on the walks, I've seen single-story units, and they have 13 panels on their, and it covers up most of the one side. So, it's going to be a space thing. Now, if somebody else in that unit says, hey, I want to have it where, now we have something going on that we're going to go, well, they've already done this, and there's no space. What are we going to say? So maybe we need to take a look at this further going forward. Anybody else? Maggie, real quick.
I suggest we pass it today, and next time see if we could be a little more specific on some of the points, because our passing it today just continues our discussion until next month, and then we can hear more information from staff, whatever questions we want at that time. And if we don't like it then, we don't pass it.
Mr. President, I move that we send this back to committee because there's confusion at this point as to what we should do, because there are a number of points that were made. They need to go through it and see if it's valid, work with the staff. And so I would move we return this to the architectural.
There's already a motion on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already, there is a motion for this.
amend.
Oh, this is
I'm
amendment?
amending the
Amendment.
motion that it go back to committee.
Okay. Do we have a second for that? Tony has a second. Anybody want to comment on that? Okay, so now we need to vote with the motion. Is that correct, Paul?
As amended.
As amended. Kathy?
If it goes back to committee, is that going to delay it for another
Yes.
month or 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, so keep in mind, we're not going to have a meeting in October. So
Yeah.
just FYI.
Oh.
So,
Christmas.
yeah, November will probably be the next time.
Okay, well then I'm not for that particular motion to keep.
But you can vote on
prolonging.
it right now. We're going to, I'll pull up the voting screen.
Okay, right now we're voting
So we
on
would
the
have to vote
amendment?
no.
So vote
Right.
it down.
Yeah, you're going to vote on an amendment to send this back to the
Voting
committee.
amended motion.
Okay, we're going to vote for the motion
Amended
for the
motion.
amended motion. Um,
The amended motion is to send it back to committee,
Right.
isn't it?
Yes,
So you're sending it back, so we'll have to start
again.
a couple of months from now. If we just ask for staff to tell us more next month, then we can vote it down if we don't hear enough, or we can vote it in.
Okay. All right. Dick, unfortunately, you've had your 3 minutes on this subject here.
Point of
When you read-
information.
Yeah, point of information. Yes,
Could
Tony?
you have someone reread the motion as amended, please?
Okay.
So we're voting on. Thank you.
Yeah, the motion was just to send this, the amendment was to send this back to the committee for review.
Okay, that's the motion, Tony. All right, all those in favor for that motion? Whoop,
Vote on the screen.
on screen, here we go. Nope, come on.
Motion fails.
Motion failed.
Anthony just voted.
There's 11 votes there.
It just passed.
It's 5 to 5.
No,
It is. There's the blue one there, which is an
If it's a
abstention.
tie, it fails.
1, 2, 3. Oh, 5.
I'll tell you right on the screen right there.
Okay, so the motion fails.
Okay.
And now we go back to the original motion?
Yes,
Okay, do we need the read again, or we're good?
I don't think so.
We're good? Okay, then let's vote for the original motion.
Okay.
Come on. One more somewhere. Elsie voted, yeah.
I think Maggie.
No, Elsie's
Maggie.
on
Oh,
there.
Elsie's on there.
Maggie, it's yours.
Okay.
Motion
Okay,
fails.
it failed.
Oh, so now it,
Goes back to committee. What?
yes, yes. It
Yeah.
does, it does
We
not
can't make
go
an-
over to
another-
next month. Goes back
No,
to
that-
committee, it's done here for now.
Yeah, we just finished it.
Reconsider.
Oh, but they can bring it back next month.
Yes,
Right,
That's good.
and we need to push that, yes.
That's what I.
Okay,
okay.
okay.
So it was 5 to 5 and then 1 abstention.
All right. We're now into United Committee reports. Right now, please, we're going to have a 3-minute stand-up break.
Ah,
Stretch your legs
Why does-
and your behinds.
why does my stand-up involve running?
Yeah. Not an official, get out the middle. and Sue are going to be right back in.
That's 12B.
We're going to 12C as in Charlie.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. Right now, we're going to entertain another motion to approve the addition to the Ting fiber insulation to the pre-sale inspection checklist. And Sue just stepped out, so we can definitely read it. She's going to be right back in. Let me get to that page myself.
I don't see it. 12C is it?
No, it's an oral
I
discussion.
don't have it.
There is no staff report or anything like
Oh,
that.
there
It
isn't
should be
that.
like it's an oral discussion, so she's going to present when she gets back.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Murad, our two next items are stepped out for a second. I thought I said 3 minutes. Okay. We'll just hang for a minute. They'll be right back. I know.
Oh, nice.
The entertain a motion to approve an addition of Ting installation to the pre-sale inspection checklist. We are now open to oral discussion. I have two, Sue?
Oh, no, that's my gimpy hand.
Oh, okay, Sue, go ahead.
Okay, well, Bart, maybe you could come up here if you would and talk about this. This was something that the whole board wanted to do, was to make sure that we had Ting installation in the pre-sale inspection checklist. And so we simply asked that we bring this forward and see if we want to add this to the pre-sale inspection.
Maggie?
Oh, you're asking? For,
Yes.
Okay, I have an opinion, if you want.
Pardon me?
I have an opinion.
Well, there's no motion, so we can have an oral discussion. Is that right, Tony? Right. Okay, so this is an oral discussion as it says in.
As to whether or not we want to go forward.
Go forward.
With it. Bart, can you come up, please, and just explain how this would work? We wanted to make sure that people understood that they were getting this, and they would be charged for it in the future.
Okay, Phyllis, did you have a question before we go forward?
Yeah. Thank you. I hope you don't mind me interrupting you. The reason that I brought this up at the agenda prep is to allow a prospective buyer who is in the process of escrow know whether their home is internet and or direct TV ready. Whether they decide, what they decide to do about that is between them and the seller. And this could be something as easy on the pre-sale checklist as line for Ting, is the router there, are the cables there, is the ONT there, and DirecTV. are the Gemini boxes there? Are the cables there? Then what the prospective buyer decides to do about it is up to them.
Not really.
So, thank you for clarifying that. And that kind of helps me provide a response to the item before you. So that then it is an item that you're asking that our resale inspectors check for and provide a report. So that with training, it is possible. However, that provides an additional load to the inspector that, given our limited resources, we will have to see what kind of an impact that will make. And again, to be able to, if you do a visual only, and if it is an item that, as you're walking by, you see that is probably not going to be an impact to the resources. But if it is an item that requires that an inspector stop to review, verify, perhaps move furniture to get to see it, now we are talking about dedicating additional resources for this request. I believe that our general services is providing services for every one of the units, and when they finish with that installation, they test the units to make sure that they are operational. But I'm not sure if that is enough to satisfy what you are looking for. So if you can help us expand a little bit more as to what you would like to see, in addition to the inspection and quality check and final inspection that our general services is providing. And I am not sure if Jose is on the line to provide more information. We can provide more information to you once we have a chance to talk to our director of general services.
Okay, we have a lot of hands. Let's start at this side of the room first. Kathy?
All right, my understanding of what Phyllis was just saying is that as far as the checklist, the boxes that we all receive from Ting are not ours to keep when we move out. So the only thing the inspectors, when they do the inspections of the units, is to see that the boxes are there. If the boxes aren't there, who gets billed for them in escrow? Would it be the seller, or would it be the new person coming in if those boxes are taken away? That's all I thought it was supposed to be.
Me too.
Okay, Tony or Sue?
Me too.
No comment, Sue? You good? I'm going.
Okay, no, please go around now.
Mr. President, we're talking about the modem and the router that Ting has installed, and it is in plain view in every unit. Yeah. It will take 2 seconds, so I don't understand why it would take a long time for an inspector to identify that there is a modem and a router that Ting has installed. Also, Mr. Mejia, I would like to know, this issue had to do with the fact that about 2 months ago, we found out that there were, out of the 6,200 manners in the mutual, about 1,000 had no contacts. Do you have new stats for us? Did that number go down significantly, or are we still talking about 1% out of 6 not being able to contact? Because that's the issue that Phyllis had reacted to. It's like, is this an issue? And we need to make sure that we don't have a large number of units without Ting.
So the purpose, again, is mainly to find out if the unit being sold has or does not have a box and a connection for a Ting connection. Is that what I'm understanding?
What he's asking is, do you have the number of units that are still not hooked up the router in
That's a
the
different
Ting?
subject.
And I do not have a current number for that.
Okay.
That's Jose.
I'll email Jose, but he's in a different building right now, so he's
Okay.
not going to be over quickly.
All right, Phyllis?
In answer to Director Bravada, the residents don't own the Gemini boxes or the cables or any of the Ting stuff.
That's correct.
So my thought process here was that it's going to then be between the buyer and the seller to negotiate what happens now if those aren't available. We are going to be, going forward, marketing homes here saying they are fiber optic cable ready, they are DirecTV ready. So this is just giving more information to the prospective buyer. In regards to homes that have not yet in United had their installations done, we are always going to have, we are never going to have 100% of all the units. We are never going to have 100% of all the units having installations completed for a wide variety of reasons.
True.
I think this needs to be sent to Jose Campos and have him draft something, because he's the expert on this and he knows what should remain and how it works. Because I think if you have not changed out if you have not put it in, then it's the next person's responsibility to pay for it if they want it. But it seems foolish to me that people wouldn't put it in because they're going to be charged for it. Yeah. But I think this could be solved if Jose Campos looked at it and just gave us some advice.
Jose's in a Ting meeting right now, so he's unavailable.
Right,
Okay.
not today, but for next meeting.
Tony, I think you had yours up, and then Kathy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like just a point of information. We have a manor on our cul-de-sac where the individual, somehow or other, they had to break in and take him out to a hospital or something. So I don't know if that unit has Ting in it or not. So how do we deal with something like that? Thank you.
And that's a very good question. I was thinking about that, on how we're going to present this to you now in a more formal way. And if it is added as an item to the checklist of resale inspections, and if this requires correction, what will be the impact to closing of escrow? Will this hold up the close of escrow? So if you allow us, now that we have a more clear direction as to what we're looking for, we'll get together with General Services, with Jose, get his information. We're going to look at our inspection procedure, and then we can bring back to you and present to you a complete proposal as to how we can accomplish what you're looking for.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think Phyllis had.
Kathy was next.
Okay. The Broadband Committee meets on August the 24th, on Monday, and this is something that we could bring up to the meeting. My understanding with Ting, through December 2027, any unit that does not have the router installed or the little white EEO whatever box will be installed at no charge to the new owner or the current resident through December 2027. I thought what all of this was supposed to be about was that when someone is buying into the unit or moving out, because the Gemini boxes, as Director Mitchell said, the router and the other, is the property of Ting, we just wanted a simple check mark when they do an inspection that those 4 devices are still in the unit. But, I can talk to Jose on, in 2 weeks.
Phyllis, go ahead, please.
There would be no corrective action for United to take. No. This would be a negotiating item between the buyer and the seller. So let's say the buyer is someone who doesn't use the internet. They may not care that it's not there. So again, it's just a negotiating item between the buyer and seller, just like every other negotiating item when you buy something. What this does, though, is give them that information up front instead of after they move in and try to connect their computer.
Okay, Maggie?
It would have to be in the resale package.
Okay. All right, well, you know what? This is good discussion. We need to get with Jose. And Friday, here's my pitch again. Friday's town hall, he will be there for the second item on our agenda at our town hall, 2 o'clock Friday.
Okay.
At the PAC.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to table this for next month then?
Yes.
If you
Yes,
want a motion
please.
for that.
I move that we vote on it this month, yes, to bring it back next month, and then next month we'll know.
I'll second.
Okay. Anyone opposed? Or would we have to do this?
We have to vote for it?
To get it back
in
on
order
the, to get it back on the agenda, yes.
Next month.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you want to put it.
We don't have to use the screen, so are there any oppositions?
All right, are there any oppositions to this going forward?
No.
None? Okay,
Okay.
good. That is done. All right. Now we can go to the committee reports. And the first one on is Murad with the Finance Committee report.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the financial report for the 6 months ended June 30, 2026. I would like to say that this is the first interim period, other than annual period, where the full accrual method has been utilized both at the beginning of the period and the end of the period. This is the first time in the history of the mutual. So this is something that needs to be acknowledged and applauded. This means that the 6 month period is very accurate, more accurate than any other period we've seen before. So you see revenue of $32.4 million and expenses of $30.5 million for an excess of revenue of expenses of $1.9 million. That's down from $2.3 million in May. So, and the reason it's down to $1.9 million from $2.3 was because we accrued more expenses. And that is what makes it more accurate, Mr. President. Next slide. Here we have the operating fund only. You see revenue of $15.4 million against expenses of $15.1 million for an operating surplus so far this year for the 6 months of $355,000, down from $573,000 in May. So again, it's a lower surplus because we accrued for more expenses, because we did a better job in accruing expenses in accounts payable. Moving on to the next slide. Here you look at the revenue for the 6 months. Under actual, you see the amounts I just mentioned, with the net revenue or expenses of $1.9 million, compared to budget that showed an excess of $1.3 million. So that means that we have a surplus of $623,000 for the first 6 months. About $355K of that is in operating, and $268,000 is in reserve. So in the next slide, you will see where that $623,000 surplus is. And as you can see, there's more green than red. That's why we have a surplus. So starting from the top, materials and supplies, you see a surplus of $526,000, which means we are under budget by that amount. Why is that? There is a lower demand for appliance replacement, and we talked about this in the past, and also the paint program has been delayed because of dry rot issues. Only as of the end of June, only 22 out of the 94 buildings, planned buildings that needed to be completed were completed. So we're behind, and that is why we have an under budget on that line. With regard to the employee compensation, the second line there, you see $399,000, so that's operating now. And that's because of open positions in landscape and M&C. The third line is investment income, and we're doing better than budget by $82,000. And that's because the 2-year Treasury yield is 4.2%, because the Federal Reserve did not decrease rates. So it is high at 4.2%. When we did the budget for 26, it was budgeted at 3.5%. So we're above budget there, and this is good to see. Now, moving on to the red stuff. Miscellaneous revenue, which is operating, is down by $72,000, and that's because of less resale and collection admin fees. Outside services, also, which is a reserve item, by the way, are $227,000 above budget, and that's primarily due to accelerated work on the waistline remediation. So we're 66% done by the end of June as opposed to 50%. I like that. The more we do earlier in the year, the better when it comes to waistline remediation. So that's a good thing. And then the last item are fees and charges to residents, which is an operating item, $259,000. This is an item, Mr. President, I talked about several times, so I'll say it one more time. There is an adjustment of $500,000 that was recorded in the first 6 months of the year. We booked an adjustment, an accrual of $500,000 at the end of the 25 for chargebacks to residents for damage restoration work. And that adjustment we made, and that accrual we made in 2025 was reversed in 2026. And I also note that Third had the same issue. They had an accrual at the end of 25, but that accrual did not get reversed in 26, but it was reversed for United. So I would like us to review that item a little more. Moving on to the next slide. Here's a pie chart that shows you the relative importance of various non-assessment items. Investment income is number one at 26% because of the higher yield that I mentioned. For 25 it was only 20%, so that's a good thing to see. On the other hand, fees and charges at 19%, that was 43% last year, and it is down because of this $500,000 adjustment that I just mentioned. Moving on to the next slide. This is a breakdown of the non-assessment revenue. The second column from the left is the 26 year-to-date actual. It shows total non-assessment revenue of $987,000 compared to budgeted of $1.2 million. So we have a downfall of $238,000, which is at the bottom of the fourth column from the left. Why is that? I mentioned this before. So if you look at the top, investment income is up $82,000 because of the higher yield. Then we have sales and leasing fees down by $66,000, and then resident maintenance fees down by $237,000, and that was due to that $500,000 adjustment I mentioned earlier. Moving on to the next slide. Here you see the total expenses of $30.5 million. All I want to say here is if you do add employee compensation of 29% and outside service of 18%, you come up with 47%. So compensation, whether for internal resources, employees, or given to outsiders, which is outside services, is 47% for the 6 months this year, compared to 48% in 25. So it is very stable, and that's a good thing to see. Moving on to the next slide. Here, we are looking at total expenses for the 6 months of 26. They add up to $30.5 million, which is the second column from the left, compared to $31.5 million budgeted. So we're below budget by $1,008,000, which is in the fourth column. Why is that? You look at the top, we have those open positions I mentioned for $399,000, and then outside services are over budget by $258,000, but that's the waistline remediation thing that I mentioned, and it's a good thing. And then the bottom item under all other expenses of $823,000, well, that's primarily the paint program being delayed because of dry rot and the delay in the appliance replacement. Moving on to the next slide.
May I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Going back to that, the total budget is $64,845,000. Is that what it is, or what?
I'm sorry. Which item?
The total budget. How
Which slide?
Number 8.
Okay.
So how much are we spending per year for all of these things?
So the total budget is $64.8 million, of which $31 million was assigned in the first 6 months.
Right.
And compared to that, our actual was only $30.5 million of the $31 million.
That's it. I wanted to just highlight the fact that what it costs to run this place, because people keep asking, why are rates going up? Why all of these different things, but it takes a lot to run this village.
$65 million in
65
expenses
million.
for 26. That is correct.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody has a phone that is going off.
I heard it too.
All right, moving on to slide 9. That's the reserve and the contingency funds. As you can see, they're increasing nicely. The reserve fund is ending the period with $14.6 million, and the contingency at $827,000 for a total of $15.4 million, which is a stable number compared to the prior months. Moving on to the next slide. You see here the trend. It was downward trend in 22, 23 to 24, and then since then we have been increasing our reserve funds and contingency funds nicely. So as of the end of June 26, we have $15.4 million, which is still below that black line, which is the average for the 5 years, which is 16.9. So we still have about $1.5 million to go to get to that average line.
Just to be an average.
Just to be an average. I would like to remind the board, though, that the GRF has $22 million in reserve, and United's beneficial interest in that reserve is $10 million. I know it's a separate corporation, but we do have a beneficial interest in GRF. So we own $10 million of the GRF reserve, which means that our true reserve is the $15 million plus the $10 million. So that's $25 million. Moving on to the next slide. Here's the temporary borrowing we did in March to pay for the property tax and property insurance. If you recall, it was $6.5 million. I would like to report that we paid back into the reserve fund $1.5 million in July. So it's only $5 million outstanding as we speak. And in a few days, we're going to make another $1.5 million payment. So we're on track to pay back the $6.5 million by November. And finally, this is the resale history report. As you can see here, since 2024, our number of resales has been declining year over year. So for the 6 months, we only had 139 resale transactions compared to 157 in the prior year. But while resales have been declining, the property values have been increasing, as you can see, not by a large amount, but they are increasing. And at the same time that we have declines in number of resales, we have an increase in rentals. So our lease percentage has increased from 14.5% last year to 14.7% this year. And Mr. President, that's my report. Thank you.
Any questions?
If the slowdown in resales, the orange thing, compares, how it compares to the general market outside of these walls. I mean, are we running some kind of a track with those, like were resales down there, or were resales through the roof and we're really doing poorly? Or are we reflecting, which is what I suspect, the market outside the walls?
We are reflecting the market outside the walls, whether at the county level or even nationwide. The number of house resales is down nationally because property values have increased and mortgage rates are higher, and therefore there has been a softening in. We don't have mortgages, and we are a retirement community, so it's difficult to compare. So there are probably other factors playing besides the nationwide fact that resales are stagnant or down, depending on the region.
But that is, in fact, what's happening.
That is correct.
But for different reasons. Yes. Got it.
Mr. President, I'd like to get Chris Macon to come in and talk about coyotes for a future agenda item, because we have been really reported in the press and on Facebook, Instagram, that our coyote population is really a big problem here. And we are taking real steps to mitigate that. And so I just wonder if some of this resale is not due to the negative press that we've had. And so I'd like to prove that we're taking action to address those issues.
So we have a quarterly update with Chris Macon. I believe it should be next month. I'll double check on that, and I'll get back to you.
That'd be great. Thank you.
A and C. Tony?
Thank you, Mr. President. We had our meeting on the 16th of July, and we're having our next meeting on the 20th. And it's an open meeting, and we're going to be discussing fences, patio, and balcony covers. So it's an open meeting. So if you have something to discuss, please show up here on the 20th at 9:30 in this room. Thank you.
Member hearings. We have a son, but we're going to get the same. Elsie?
Member hearings by Elsie Addington. Yeah, one thing I wanted to talk about that kind of ties into, and this is, I can talk about this, ties into Murat's report a little bit, and that is at our member hearings. Some of them are disciplinary, but a huge part of our workload now is damage restoration, and it mentions in slide, I forget what slide there. Oh no, it wasn't a slide. It was, anyway, one of the under realizations of income or revenue on our behalf was we were anticipating X amount of money to come in from reimbursements from residents regarding damage restoration. And I don't think a lot of people know that that's part of our work. So we are addressing that as fast as we can. So that, and anyway, we met last August the 6th. Yeah, last Thursday, and the next meeting will be Thursday, September 3rd at 9 a.m. in the Sycamore Wood. But if you show up, we won't let you in. Thank you.
Okay, we didn't meet last month, but we will be meeting in just 2 weeks.
Okay,
Thank you.
Landscape Committee, Sue?
Yes, we had a very interesting meeting earlier this month. Kurt and his staff did a presentation on a trial to evaluate a bioherbicide. And, people keep asking to try to have less toxic vehicles, herbicides, in order to do this. Well, it turns out that the Cheetah Pro that we're currently using is the best, because the bioherbicide, they said it had higher product cost, increased labor associated with repeat treatments, lower long-term weed control, reduced efficiency, and increased risk for applicators and residents. So they did this study, and I think it proved very clearly that we need to continue with what we're doing. Future agenda items, we're going to have them take a look at temperature and rainfall trends versus irrigation usage, cost of roof cleaning for tree debris while crews are in the area, additional labor support to address blowing concerns, and then in a couple of months, hopefully we'll have the irrigation study report.
All right, thank you very much. So, maintenance and construction, that's my report. We did have, I think you heard earlier when we talked about maintenance, getting $12,000 more for slope roofs. Okay, we covered that, and that's going to be actually on the top of our list to make sure that we get this done and in place. I think we need a little bit more explanation versus the cost going forward. The issue of low water pressure was actually covered today's meeting too, and will be covered again at their Friday 2 o'clock meeting, open to everyone. And our next meeting will be August, no, it doesn't say.
26th.
Yes, it does say, thank you. August 26th, we'll see you there, I hope. Thank you. The next one will be Energy Subcommittee. Tony.
The Energy Subcommittee is going to meet pretty soon here, let's see, on
31st.
Let's see, it's going to be on August 31st, and it's an open meeting, and if you have some ideas on how we can mitigate some of our costs, please attend. Thank you.
Now we have the United Resident Advisory Committee.
Resident Advisory Committee will be this Thursday, 4 p.m. in the Elm Room. We don't use Robert's Rules, so come and let us hear what you have to say, and we will follow up and get back to you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now let's look at some GRF committee highlights. We'll start with Murad and the finances for GRF.
Thank you, Mr. President. The GRF Finance Committee met on June 17th, 2026. They approved the April financial statements and also discussed the revenue shortfall that was experienced for those 4 months. And the primary factors for that shortfall was lower trust facility fees because of the number of resales going down, and also a shortfall in golf fees. The next meeting will occur on August 19th at 1:30 p.m. in the boardroom. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to know it's Community Activities Committee. Maggie?
Yes. Some revolutionary changes are being considered. They're considering putting signage made by residents around the clubhouses, and maybe painting the walls by residents around the clubhouses. And totems done by residents around the clubhouses, and so on. So we're moving towards quaint, but several people like it, and they have an art committee that is. The artists are just crazy to do something. When you're an artist, you want to paint, you want to display, and you want to recreate, and so they're very eager to add more art on the exterior of buildings and throughout the village, and it's a decision that we have to make. But all kinds of artists' ideas are coming up, and so they're a totally different focus on the committee than before. Not that it's bad or good, it's up to you to determine that, but it is a whole different, we're looking at artwork by residents around the village is what they're doing, so you might come and listen.
All right, very interesting. Okay, GRF Landscape Committee. Sue, please.
Yes. They're meeting August 12th. And so that's Wednesday, tomorrow. And it's going to be a very interesting discussion. They're going to do a presentation on the nursery and mulch. And then they're also going to do an Aliso Creek update, which is the post-maintenance report. So it should be a very interesting meeting.
Thank you. We have the GRF maintenance and construction. We have this from Jonathan, please.
Yeah, we had a very interesting last meeting on June 10. There are several big improvements going on with the clubhouses and the pools and gyms, lighting, and so on and so forth, which is going very smoothly. And the next meeting is in August 12 at 9:30, the boardroom. We'll invite whoever is interested to come in and spend a couple hours with us.
Okay. In your next meeting, I'm sorry, did I catch that?
August 12th.
August 12th, thank you. That would be tomorrow, correct. And those are good meetings, come to them. There is a space planning ad hoc. As you can see that there was no meeting. Last meeting was last year. And the next meeting is to be determined. All right. Mobility and vehicles, Tony?
Thank you, Mr. President. We had our meeting, and we expressed some concern on the Priority United because one of those buses, the drivers have to manually deploy the ramp. And we expressed our concern about that. And I did ride the C3 bus, which is a bus that takes you over to the Arbor. And what a great experience that is. It runs 4 times a day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you don't want to waste any gas and go over and have lunch, try it out. You'll love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. I'm glad to see that that new route is being used. Kathy, do we have anything on the broadband committee?
Okay, the broadband committee, we met on May the 28th, and I covered all of that in our June meeting. So our next meeting will be on Monday, August the 24th at 9:30 a.m. And again, most of the stuff that we cover is being covered in the invitations when you get your Gemini boxes, and also on this coming Friday, there'll be some more information.
Okay, thank you. All right.
My next one.
Yes, I was going to say, you would like to continue.
Yes, my next one was the security and safety meeting, and we met,
June 24th.
Oh, here it is, sorry. Okay, we met on June the 24th, and we covered a number of a number of items on that. But over the last 2 months, because we have skipped having some of the meetings, I can't remember what I've talked about and what I haven't talked about. So I'm just going to say that our next meeting is Wednesday, August the 26th at 1:30 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, traffic hearings. Elsie, that's another one of your targets.
That's me. And who was asking about running stop signs? Was that you? Just my little input from that, it continues to be the number one violation that are, at least that are turning up for the hearings. A lot of people just go over and watch the video. Incidentally, all those of you out there in TV land, if you, God forbid, get a ticket for running a stop sign, you can go to security and they will show you the video upon which we're basing our, and a lot of people see the video and they go, oh, where's my checkbook? But some people don't. And number one is running those stop signs, and I don't know what's going on. We only have 3 traffic officers for this whole campus, not just United, this whole campus. And so they can't catch everybody, so go ahead and think that one through. And it would just start noticing as you're stopped safely at your own stop sign, watch the people sailing through. Anyway, it's amazing. Failure to stop at a stop sign.
I mean,
No,
is it
you don't-
$100,
Oh, it's 150, I think. With the,
I think we just
We
raised
just
it.
raised
no, no,
it.
no,
Yeah, we
it's
just
not.
raised it.
It's 100.
We just,
200.
is it 200?
Well, the first offense is 100, the second offense is 200, and the third offense, I think,
No, the first offense is not it's more than 150.
we just raised it. I
Yeah,
don't
they
have that
raised
sch-
it.
I don't have that schedule.
So
in
it
front of me.
goes up and up and up because
Yeah.
that is very definitely, that goes under the radar of the state's new ruling as to fines because it's clearly.
That's right, we can't,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the next one that you can't
Those-
attend.
Wait a minute, wait, did you have a
Oh,
question?
sir?
for-
I'm sorry.
Elsie, do bicycle riders who blow through stop signs ever get charged?
Not that I've seen.
They do,
But
actually.
that doesn't mean
Do
that
they?
they
They
don't.
can be?
Yes.
They
Yeah,
can.
They definitely can be, if you know, because, see, I only see the ones that, who asked me that question? Sorry about that. I like to look at my questioner. I only get the ones who say, I want a hearing. So I don't know, but I know that they're
They can
supposed
be.
to, yeah.
Can be, yeah. Are and can, two different
Well,
things.
according to my little friend over here, he says that, well, like, I want you to meet my little friend. Get it? Anyway, he says he's apparently has personal knowledge. So, and I don't mean he got a ticket, I mean, you know what, never mind. The next hearings are on August 19th at 9 o'clock in the boardroom.
All right, Disaster Preparedness Committee.
Wait a minute
Whoop,
before we
wait a
go
minute.
on.
We have a wait a minute.
Mr. President, our little friend is really known as the Assistant Corporate Secretary of the General Manager's Office. So thank you, Paul.
It takes so long to
And
say.
his name is Paul, let's not forget that. Okay. Now can we go to disaster preparedness?
Why not?
Let's go. That would be Tony.
Yes, thank you. We had our last meeting here on July 28th, and it's very exciting now because we have a new committee chair, J.D. Park, who is reorganizing us, and we're redoing the charter. So our next meeting is on the 29th, 9:30 here in the room, and it is a meeting that people attend. So it's an open meeting, and please attend.
All right. IT has an Information Technology Committee. Terry, is that you? Go for it.
It is me. However, this committee meets every quarter, and the May 29th was before my time.
Okay.
So I'm not sure who is there, but the next meeting is August 28th, which I will be at,
Very good, thank you.
and I'm next. That also is the GRF Energy Committee. It's an ad hoc. I was not there. I was out medical, and I think Tony was there, so I'm not sure if you have anything
Tony,
you
did you
wanted
have a
to.
comment?
Yeah, it was there. It was sort of like a startup meeting, and they don't meet very, very often. But it looks like to me we're searching for things at the meeting. So, because there's a lot of things going on in energy, as you know. And so the next meeting is going to be shortly there, on the 17th. So it's an open meeting. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mary, we have a ad hoc land use committee?
The strategic land use met without me. I was absent. I believe Tony was there. And next meeting is on August the 27th.
Okay. Anything to share, Tony, or we go on?
Not really. We didn't get into too much there, so
Okay.
not really, not much to report. Thank you.
All right. Water conservation, Mary,
Yes,
a new committee.
brand new. We just met. We are establishing a charter which is sixfold. The plan for the committee is to be a collaboration with GRF United and Third to advise with staff on matters related to planning, managing, and conserving water resources here. The committee shall be a liaison between the village and water resource groups, local groups, like the El Toro Water District, and also shall monitor relevant legislation, changes, policy initiatives that will affect the water. There's a lot of that going on right this minute. And finally, last but not least, we'll look into water conservation education and how to let the residents know what's going on, because the next step is for residents to take more action. The El Toro Water District staff gave a presentation which included their new water shortage contingency response plan. And there are a couple of things in here that matter. One is that these water conservation guidelines that we've been following, the ordinance stipulates that these are now requirements. So it's good for us to know, if you've got one of these from last year, they're pretty much the same items, but these will be required now. And also, they are instituting a, what is it, like a 5-level plan for increasing levels of restriction based on decreasing water availability. And so we'll have different code levels, and that's their emergency response plan, is to let us know if the conditions change and if this is not enough. So last couple of things is just that the El Toro Water District has a very nicely functioning community advisory group. Happens to meet the day after tomorrow at 11:30. So if you haven't been, that's kind of reason to go, just to go see what happens there. That you can bring all your questions. The presentation will be on water quality, but it's a good thing to go, and wouldn't hurt to know that there's a free lunch, if there's such a thing. And then lastly, in October, there's going to be a program, H2A for HOAs. If you've not heard of it before, you could go onto the El Toro site located and sign up there. But it's for people like us that are highly involved in the HOAs and want to know more. Thanks.
Thank you. I actually plan on going to that meeting. So that covers our committee. Oh,
The next meeting,
the next meeting,
October 29th,
to October 29th.
my birthday.
There you go. Well, that's another reason to go. All right. Little note on committees, and I appreciate everybody's reports today, but I want our residents to know that this board participates in a lot of committees, and is very fruitful. These committees are, and it's really nice to see if the residents can take this list and go online and look at the committee times and dates and come to these meetings, because your input is very important to these committees. That's what I'll say about committees. Future agenda items. Any? Pardon me?
I have something on that,
On which one?
future agenda.
I want to hear it.
Well,
We want to hear
I
it.
lost it in this pile of paper, but in one of the previous minutes, it said, under future items, a charter for the hearings committee. I mean, we have a charter, but a charter for the hearings committee. And it didn't show up on today's, and I can't find it because I had proof positive right here.
It never came from staff, so it wouldn't be on here.
It was under,
So
but
your executive hearings committee never submitted anything to us yet, so that's why it's on the agenda.
No, it was on one of the, it's one of the board minutes that we approved in the beginning. There were 4 or 5 minutes. I just saw it, but now I can't find it again.
I mean, I can reach out to Francis and
And
Plasilda,
I'm
but
not
I don't
mad, I mean, we're not gonna
recall
put
that.
it on today, but,
No, we need to bring it up. again.
yeah, I wanna, but
It
I,
needs to be resurfaced.
for whatever what are we?
So Plasilda's listening in right now, so I'll reach out to her on this.
Oh, great.
Okay. Okay. Let me read this because it is to do with the future agenda items. All matters listed under the future agenda items are resolution 28-day public view for items for future board meetings. No action will be taken by the board on this agenda items at this meeting. The board will take action on these items at a future board meeting. And I list, with the revision to standard 7, okay, revision to standard 35, standard 9, okay, all these items are already in for future. Yes, Paul?
So you just shot down 35, so that's going back to
Okay.
your committee.
All right, see, this is why we have this on here. A line goes through this.
It is a future agenda item,
But not
it's
for,
28 days.
right. All right, so
Oh,
any,
wait, so we're putting future agenda items, now we didn't used to, we used to put future agenda items were things we were gonna talk about at the next
Meeting.
agenda. But this here is, I mean, I don't care,
Right.
but maybe I never noticed it before, but, because the revision to standard 7, as far as I'm concerned, we already did it. But now, we only put it on here if it's on 28 day?
So you just approved it on 20 days today. So it's going to go back next month for final approval. That's why that's on
yeah.
here.
Right, no, I
That's why
get
it's here.
that.
So it's always been like this, yes.
yeah, that's
It's
why it's
always
here.
been like that,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, these two items are both on 28-day.
Well, what did I see?
Well, not the
in
35. 35
35 is
taken
not
off,
there. We
yes.
lined that one out, yeah.
Huh,
Okay?
okay, well, because I saw that mythical charter
Okay.
thing under, but I
All
can't
right.
find it.
Now we get to come to the director's comments. Everybody gets 2 minutes. We'll just start with Elsie.
Yeah, well, I don't like being gaslighted, and I think my president is gaslighting me,
I'm
telling
just-
me,
I'm
and
just going around the-
accompanied by our assistant corporate secretary, Paul.
Do you want your 2 minutes, Elsie?
Okay.
I'm just going down the list.
Yeah, if you get this is mostly for people out in TV land. If you get a letter from the Caltrans regarding the sound wall, make sure you respond to it by the 21st. And it should be there by the 21st. So get on it. And what it does is this is separate. A lot of people in my neighborhood are thinking, oh, I can just take care of it at the big thing on the 26th. Well, that's two separate things. So I'm just encouraging you to use this self-addressed stamped envelope included in your FedEx thing and respond, because it's really important, because maybe we can finally get a sound wall. Yay!
Okay. Comments heard. Thank you for being first. Murad.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say that with relation to water conservation efforts, and we heard a lot about it this morning, including what Mary just mentioned about it, I think we need to deal with over-irrigation, and I see a lot of residents over-irrigating with their water hoses. So that's costing us a lot of money, given how expensive water is today. And I didn't want to suggest adding it to the future agenda, but I would like us to think about the possibility of capping water hoses in the mutual as an alternative, as a way to limit or eliminate this over-irrigation and misuse of water. Thank you.
Okay.
And in the parking,
Oh, the carports?
yeah, carports there too.
Mine is the same as Murad's. I see these lovely people out there morning and evening in the 90-degree heat, watering their beloved plants. And their yard looks beautiful. And we are going over our budget for water. We are doing everything we can to save their water, and they're standing out there in the evening so proud of their gorgeous yard. I am not proud of your gorgeous yard. I'd be prouder if we could lower our water usage. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I echo everything that's been said. And I did, a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, call in to security about somebody who had a sprinkler hooked up to their hose that was watering not only their grass, but the roadway. So, I did call security. I said, to get this, because we can't have this kind of watering going on at all. It's just totally out of bounds.
Yep.
So, I won't go any further. So,
Pass.
okay, Tony.
I have nothing, Mr. President, thank you.
I do.
All right.
To hit on a little bit of what Elsie was talking about and Murad's financial report, the figures or the pages that Elsie was trying to talk about was in Agenda Item 13A, page 6, and the member hearings. As we do have a lot of disciplinary, we also have a lot of damage restoration and water damage, and we use outside companies. And most of the complaints are the high costs. And some of these figures are extremely high, very high. And when we discuss it with staff basically says the reason that we have to use an outside source is because they're certified and in different areas. I would like to find out if there is a way that with our plumbing, with our electricians, with our carpenters or whatever we have, if there aren't several in each of the areas that we could send to school, it's probably not much more than $2,500, and get them certified. Because the cost of calling out these outside vendors, there's flat fees, and then there's hourly fees, and then there's this fee, and there's that fee. And I do think our plumbers and our electricians are very qualified. And if part of the reason they can't do the work is because of a certification, I think it would behoove us to have a few of them become certified in those areas and possibly bring down the costs that our fellow owners are going to have to pay for some of this damage restoration work that is involved. And some of these figures are upwards of $30,000 because of damages and because of the outside companies.
But not many. Not in the $30,000 range, and that is an average.
No, it's not an average. No.
Up to, yeah.
But some of them are higher than that. And the biggest complaint we have is the fact that the costs are excessive, and when we, the three of us, do question staff will say, well, it requires, when you remove a wall, certification. Is that too much? It's too much. Okay.
But Kathy, I just want to say, our employees do not work after hours or over the weekend, and a lot of these requests do come after hours.
Right, but I don't understand why they can't work overtime.
Call outside.
I don't
Even
understand.
if they're certified, it doesn't solve the issue.
Well, no, but I don't understand why our people can't work overtime.
That's what VMS is doing.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I'm not going to argue, but.
Jonathan, please.
Well, in spite of everyone's personal life and the style, we all gather here to support this entire village. And again, I really am extremely happy with the way this boards make decisions, very thoughtful. They dive in deeply into every issue. Time to time, we think there is too much conversation, but without it, we wouldn't arrive to the right decision. So thank you, and I'm very proud to be a part of this.
you. Mary?
Just wanted to thank the directors for your interest in the water, because it is that important a situation here, and it's going to increase. And if you have ideas or observations, let me know. The Water Conservation Committee doesn't really meet frequently, but that doesn't mean there's not things we can do. I think we have two really strong allies here. So much of this is education. One is the El Toro Water District. Impeccable. Go to their website and look around. It's an easy place to send people to get more information. It's well done, and they're always available. And the other ally is the Village Media Services. I mean, that's a way that we can get information about the changes coming down the pike, and they're already here, to let people know that it's not like it used to be. Times are changing, and so the habits have to change along with them. So it doesn't fly the old thinking, you know, that it doesn't matter, because it really does. So thank you.
Thank you. Phyllis, please. Pardon me? No comment. Terry, anything? Nope.
I'm just on board. I'm on board with water conservation. It's one of my hot points. And especially when you have hot water heaters every single day that are heating like tea kettles 24 hours a day, all over the country, all over the state, all over the Laguna Woods.
True.
Makes me nuts. Anyway, thank you very much.
All right. Well, thank everybody. We are now going to recess until 12:45. 12:45. And thanks a lot for everybody's participation.
Thank you.